Hi folks, so question 2 then. At a stall, so the probability of knocking a coconut off its support is 0.34. So what's the probability of not knocking it off its support? So it's just going to be 1 take away that, so 1 take away 0.34. So that will be 0.66. So if the probability of it happening is 0.34, you always just take 1 away, or take it away from 1, and it gives what the probability of the opposite thing being, because all probabilities have to add up to 1. Second one, David is given 3 attempts to knock it off. So what's the probability that he knocks it for the first time on the third attempt? So if he knocks it for the first time on the third attempt, then he doesn't knock it for the first 2. So if this is the first time, or first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, so he doesn't on the first attempt. So if he doesn't on the first attempt, yeah, that has to be 0.66. And then he doesn't on the second attempt, so that's 0.66 again, that's the probability. And then 0.34 on the third one, because he does knock it off then on the third one. And what you're going to do with those is multiply them all together, and then that's going to give you your answer. And you should get 0.148. And that's rounded off to 3 decimal places. So that's it for part A. Part B then, you have to figure out the area and the perimeter of this whole shape. So the biggest problem, so to find the area, say of a square or rectangle, you just do the length multiplied by the width. There's a triangle here on the bottom there as well, so area of that would be a half times base times height, so you need to know those two formulae. And then for perimeter, it's just adding up all of the sides around, it's just how far around the shape. So we don't need to worry about those first anyway. The biggest issue we've got here is that we don't know what the length of one of the sides of the big square is, so we don't know what that is there. So there is a way of figuring it out, and you have to be able to see that the rectangle inside, or sorry, the square inside the ABCF square, that each of the angles on that has to be a right angle. So that means that there has to be a right angle, the angle ABC, same as all of them on that square. And because of that, it lets you use Pythagoras theorem to work out the length here. And when you know what the length AC is, it's going to be the same for AE and ED and CD. So that's just a right angle triangle there on the bottom with 2 centimeters, because that from B to C has to be 2 as well, because it's forming the kind of top there. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 2 squared plus 2 squared is equal to x squared. We'll just call that x, this side here. So 2 squared is 4, 2 squared is 4, so 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8 has to be what x squared is. So then you do square root, so x is equal to the square root of 8, which is, if you put in the calculator, it'll give you 2 root 2, or simplify down to third. So we know that x is 2 root 2. That means that is 2 root 2. And this is 2 root 2, and this is 2 root 2 as well. So you know what every side on the shape is really there. So area anyway. So the area of the shape, if you just think about the square ACDE, so kind of the big square there, the area of that would just be 2 root 2 multiplied by 2 root 2. So that would be the area of that square there. So that's all of that accounted for. So what we're missing then is the area of the top part here, so of this section up here, the red part I'm shading in. So you want the area of that triangle. So the formula for area of a triangle is half times base times height. So the base here will be 2 and the height will be 2. As long as they're at right angles to each other, you can call one the base, one the height. So 2 and 2. So it's going to be a half multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So yeah, so that's the square. This is the triangle. So it's a half times base times height, so a half times 2 times 2, and that's just going to be 1 there. And here you're going to get 8. So 8 plus 1 will be 9 centimeters squared. Actually, I made a mistake there, didn't I? Yeah, so yeah, sorry, so half times 2 times 2, you should get 2 there instead of 1. Yeah, so that should be 2. So final answer should be 10 instead. So 10, so that's my mistake. Perimeter. So perimeter of the shape will just be all of the sides added together. So you're going to take, so if you were to start up there in the top corner, you're going to go 2 root 2 plus 2 root 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 root 2. So you can just add up all of those. 2 root 2 plus 2 root 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 root 2. Or what you can do quickly is it's going to be 3 times 2 root 2 plus 2 times 2. So if you add up all of those anyway, that's probably the best way to show your workings there as well. Just write that out, and then even if you get it wrong, you'll get the marks. You get a lot of the marks. So when you add them up anyway, you should get 12.49. So you might have to press the SD button there as well, just to change into a decimal, because they want you to round it to 2 decimal places. So that's in question there. So 12.49, that's the perimeter. Area is just 10 centimeters squared. So that's it. That's all for question 2.